Now earlier we talked about a key gauge. Now a key gauge is basically a stamped piece of metal here that has different size steps that are machined into the gauge itself. Now earlier we talked about a key gauge. A key gauge is basically a flat piece of metal that has a... Earlier we talked about a key gauge, and here is a... Earlier we mentioned a key. Earlier we talked about a key gauge. A key gauge is a common tool used in locksmithing, and it's basically a flat plate of metal that has a variety of different steps cut into the gauge itself. And what it's used for is to measure the depth of the cuts in a key. So if we have a key, basically the key is inserted into the gauge, and we slide that key down until it stops. And where it stops tells us what cut it is. For example, this here key that we're doing right now, the cut that we're measuring, has a depth of 2. And that refers to the length of the pin that we'll need to put in the lock to match that key cut.